Alrighty, here we go again. This time we're going to be solving for the denominator. This is very closely linked to what we did last lesson. So if you struggle with that, I would recommend taking another look at that before we're moving on. So what we did last lesson, we basically said if you do have a triangle like so, we're going to give you an unknown angle, so unknown side, so x there, give you a side, so make that 9, and an angle here, say 30 degrees. And we said from here, two sides of an angle is trig, so trig SOHCAHTOA. And using that, so we need to work out what we're using here. Sidewise, this is the hypotenuse, this is the opposite. So hypotenuse opposite would be sine here, and we said that sine theta, or in this case sine 30, opposite over hypotenuse is x on 9. Okay, from there what we did, multiplied by 9 to get us that 9 sine 30 equals x. And that's when the calculator there just got us a value. Today, what's going to be different is, if I look at this line here, it came as sine 30 equals x on 9. Sometimes though, my unknown, so my unknown here is x, will come in the denominator. So my line of working might look something more like sine 50, for example, equals 10 on x. So last time, x was always on top. Sometimes x can be on the bottom now. We're going to deal with this x on the bottom, the denominator, today. Okay, so let's grab a question and let's get into it. So, let's start with the triangle. In our triangle here, we'll say this can be 20 degrees, this can be 8 meters, and this will be my unknown here of x. And on face value, straight away, you can't really tell where x is. It's going to be on top or bottom. So we need to go through the process, set up our equation. From our equation, we'll be able to tell, we'll be able to work with what we've got. Okay. Here, again, 8x, that's two sides, and we've got an angle here in between them as well. So two sides of an angle, SOHCAHTOA. Again, make sure you spell SOHCAHTOA correctly. You'd be surprised how many people don't. My angle here, so that's going to be the opposite. My right angle, x is going to be my hypotenuse, and next to it, my adjacent is 8. Okay, should be pretty efficient at labeling sides at this stage. In terms of working out my ratio, opposite, there's nothing there for opposite. There's no unknown, there's no known side. Opposite's out, so sine is out, tan is out, opposite does not exist there as far as we're concerned. So dealing with cos. So cos, cosine, adjacent, and hypotenuse. So I'm saying cos theta equals adjacent on hypotenuse. So cos 20 here equals adjacent, and my adjacent here is 8. Okay, it's not just whack x on the top or bottom. You need to get the order correct. Adjacent's on top, hypotenuse on the denominator. Numerator, denominator, top, bottom on x. So hypotenuse here being x. So now we need to work out what we're going to do with this. The shortened version of it, I mean the kind of skipping a few step method, is just to switch the x here and the cos 20 here. So my next line of working will be that x, because these two are switched, equals 8 on cos 20. And you can do a bit of mathematical working to show that's the case, but in general, what's on the bottom here, the cos 20, switch those two over. So from here, 8 on cos 20, That goes into my calculator. 8 divided by cos 20. That is going to get me 8.51. Okay, 8.51. I'll check my rounding there. It's 8.51 meters, and that is to 2 dp. Okay, so it is slightly different. X on the bottom, unknown on the bottom, switch these two out. If you do recall the case from yesterday, or last lesson when X was on top, we multiplied to cancel the bottom there. Okay, X is on the bottom, we switch the two over. Okay, pay very careful attention to those two cases. Okay, there's only two cases, and we'll summarize again at the end, but make sure you are getting the difference correct. Make sure you're labeling correctly in your question. Got another question here. That can be 40 in there. So if I make this to be X here and this to be, say, 6, I'm linking here a side, and an angle. It's going to be trig again, so SOHCAHTOA. That's an H there, SOHCAHTOA. Okay, working out my sides. Right angle here, this is my hypotenuse. Angle here, this is my opposite. This will be my adjacent next to my angle. Okay, so working it through, what we've got, what we don't have, we're interested in the opposite here. That's good. Interested in the adjacent here as well. Okay, hypotenuse is out. There's nothing interesting about the hypotenuse. There's no number. There's no x. Hypotenuse is out, so sine's out. Cos is out as well. TOA, tan. So tan, my angle, so tan 40 is going to equal here, opposite over adjacent. Opposite is 6 on adjacent, which is x. So again, x on the denominator here. Our standard trick here, unknown on the bottom, tan 40 here, the old switcheroo. Those two get swapped out. X then becomes 6 on tan 40. Okay, 6 on tan 40, put that into the calculator. 6 divided by tan 40 will get us x being 7.150521, etc. So if I round that, it's round to 1 dp today. So x will be then 7.2. There's no units, so correct to 1 dp. 1 dp. Okay. So in summary, just the two different cases we get. When we do have a trig ratio, we might get something like sine 50 equals x on 6, or we might get something like tan 20 equals 4 on x. Okay, the difference being, of course, x on top here, x on the bottom here. X is on top. We want to cancel by multiplying by the denominator, so the 6's there cancel. So you get 6 sine 50 equals x, and that goes into the calculator, 6 sine 50. On this side over here, we have the unknown on the denominator, the x and the tan 20 here, they will switch. So you get x equals 4 on tan 20, and that goes into the calculator. They're the two different cases, case 1 and case 2. Watch out for each one, they'll turn up fairly often. Okay? You can expect both of them in exams, etc. Okay? Make sure when you're doing a trig, you are setting up your ratios correctly. Sine opposite hypotenuse, cos adjacent hypotenuse, tan opposite and adjacent. When you get that right, you should expect to see two cases. I'd be very surprised if you didn't get one of each of these in your exam. Okay, x on top, multiply, x on bottom, switch them over. Good luck with your practice questions, and thanks for watching.